Yo, what is up guys? It is me, RJP Studios, back with another video, and today we are doing Paris FC with the career mode recommendation. Now personally, I actually, one of my favourite clubs to rebuild in French football right now would be this side. I personally just think it's got like an interesting team, some really really interesting signings as well. I just think yeah, it's just really cool. Um, the only other French sides that I think would have like proper fun is Clermont-Foot, Auxerre, and maybe one or two others that I can't think of off the top of my head. Um, Now, as some of you may, well, most of you should know, in fairness, as some of you know, and most of you should, Paris FC did recently get promoted to the big time, and they're now in League 1 and no longer in the second league. So that means that they are now going to be competing with local rivals PSG. Now, looking at this side, there are definitely some standout players. You've got the likes of former Fiorentina player Lopez, a new signing in Simon, another new signing in Otavio. They've got some alright players like Desmet, um, Crasso, and Kebble. So it's got some decent players, and it's got a good young keeper in Nakambadio. Um, so I think the main objective with this side is probably to stay up, because if we go to the league, that's not the league. If we go to the league, um, it is possible to stay up, because there are other candidates that for relegation. We're not. I wouldn't say we're the favourites to be rock bottom. So it is definitely you are definitely capable of surviving. Now the budget isn't really that great, if I'm being honest. For a league inside, it is just shy of five and a half million. In terms of youth academy, I'd say use the youth academy now. As you can see here, they're not really any standout players. You've got a couple that could be alright, mainly these two in Charles Blot and Makis Livaris. And now, again, I know I've said this time and time again, but I'll say it once more. If you want countries to use for the youth scouting, take the nations. So I'd do France, Greece, and Croatia. Those would be the three countries that I'd do in the first season, and from there on out, I'd go from there. In terms of signings, as you noticed, they do have some big name players. If we go to overall, two of their new signings in Moses Simon and Otavio, very very high profile players, and Maxime Lopez as well. So there are definitely some potential places you could look. Um, the first thing is, are there any good free agents? I know you know, well, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know me. I love myself a good little free agent. You can't really go wrong with a free agent that does the job. Perfect example there of Nadir Ali. Um, but I don't really, I'm going to be honest, I don't really like signing the Mexican or Qatar players in rebuilds. Don't get me wrong, that's not me discouraging you lot not to. I'm just saying I don't really. It's not really for me. I just think it's a bit unrealistic. Just signing the same players again and again and having a full team of Mexican players. I just don't really think that it's the right move, I guess. Um, but the only one that you probably could consider is this man right here, Irving Lozano. And the only other players that I shortlisted, as you probably saw, is Hakim Ziyech and Nadir Ali. Um, Now, in terms of who to sign, I'd probably stick to. Well, it's difficult to explain. So I would say a French player in one of the top five leagues, or someone from the second French league. So if we go to the Bundesliga, are there any French players that we could snap up? You might want to get Joanwell Balossian or Jean Mateo Bahoya. See, we're already finding absolute gems, and don't get me wrong, you probably can't afford most of these because the budget is so small. But you can just simply loan them in. I'm not like 100% sure because I've not done it yet, but you probably could loan a lot of these, well, some of these players in. Um, So as we keep on going down, I'm sure we'll continue to find some good players. Um, in terms of how old to get them, I'd say either get some experience like player, um, or mid 20s. To be honest, it doesn't really matter in terms of how old because it is a very big mix. As long as you're not just signing only old players or only young players, make sure that you do indeed have a mix of ages, just because that is what they do. They mix and match. They definitely do. Um, it's not just specific to one. Um, but yeah. So from La Liga, I'd I don't I wouldn't I'd actually say probably don't go for someone in La Liga. I just don't really think that's the league that you should focus on. If you do, I would say your best options are Erosia and Tangai Nianzu. Um, I'd say let's ignore League One for a minute, just because they'll have so many players. Um, I probably wouldn't. It will shortlist Bellegarde. Um, maybe Issa Diop. Um, but yeah, try and keep it relatively realistic. Don't just try and sign the best. Um, yeah, try and make it realistic. Like, if you can't picture them in that kit, then don't bother. Don't don't worry about it too much. Um, yeah, try and balance out the team. And I'd probably say in terms of abroad, Syria is probably where you want to focus most of your signings on. Um, Now, there is one team, as you probably noticed, they have three players in a row here. Butes, Kakare and Dacunia. Um, they've also have a history of signing French talent um, since they've been promoted to the Serie A. And another example right there, Jonathan Okono. So yeah, they've also been signing um, few good French players recently. And yeah, there's a few good options here. There's not as many as I would have hoped. And now for the second thing, go for go for the second. What am I doing? Go go for the second tier of the the French league. Now, If you can't think of any ideas, I'll quickly run you through. And bearing in mind this is with updated teams, I'd focus on Ajaccio, Amiens, Saint Etienne, Clermont-Foot, um, Montpellier, and Stade de Reims. Those would be the teams I'd focus on. Obviously, that's not me saying don't look at the other teams, but that is me saying those are the probably the better teams in the league. Um, but some of these early teams are not living up to expectations. So maybe you don't focus on these two. Maybe focus on the rest. I'll only go through a couple. Well, go through this one on Clermont Foot, and then I'll leave it there. Um, but yeah, maybe Irvin Cardona, who of course is on loan. Maybe Zuriko Davatishvili could be a good option for a winger, or Lucas Stassin up front. Um, and I won't as I said, I won't go through any others. I'll just do Clermont Foot, and then say a couple more things, and then I'll end today's episode. Um, so, in terms of position, um, I'd probably wouldn't really focus on a winger for a long time because that's probably one of your stronger positions. I'd probably focus on getting a new striker to replace Gory and also a new keeper. I'd say those are the two positions. So if we go to the transfers, so in terms of that's not what I meant. If you want a good goalkeeper option, I didn't put any on there. I'm an idiot. If you want strikers, I would probably get the Saint Etienne man in Lucas Stassin. Um, Also, I would strongly suggest to pick up Nadir Ali or whoever it is because in every career mode, because Roman Size is a free agent, they have his regen. So I'd always sign Size or his regen if you are to do it. So if you go to goalkeeper and France, um, let's quickly try and find one. I'd maybe go for Alphonse Areola. That's a good early choice that I've seen. Maybe Jean Boutet. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one really, because you can't really have someone else playing in the position. Like for a right back, you could just manage to put someone else there. Maybe this guy, Alban Lafont, former wonder kid of FIFA. That would be a very good option. I think that'd probably be your best bet, actually. Um, the rest of this is way too much money. Um, so yeah, I'd try and make the three signings in Lafont, Stassin, and this Moroccan regen or Roman size, depending on who it is. Um, in terms of players to sell, it's a very well, it's not very thin, but it's relatively thin. If you do get that, if you do get a goalkeeper, I'd get rid of. Well, either way, I'd get rid of Remy Ryu. I don't really think you need him. I think you could probably get rid of at least one or two of these fullbacks. I'd probably go for Godin and Olila. I think Sangui is a good young talent and De Smet's a good starter. Um, I have a few. Well, one, two, three, four, five defensive options. I'd probably look to loan Kalau, and then I wouldn't do anything with these fullbacks. Um, hmm. I'd maybe sell. Yeah, I'd probably sell Julian Lopez, and then I'd probably get rid of Lamine Guay, and I'll probably keep these four strikers. So just to recap on who to sell. Sell Ryu, Lopez, Gay, Gordine, and Olila, and then loan out Dimitri Kalam. But that has been it for today's episode. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure you like, subscribe if you're new or if you haven't already. Comment below what you want to see in the future, and I'll see you for another episode very soon. Goodbye.